All right, here's part two of the lecture. We don't have much more left. I'm going to kind of finish this up kind of as we go here. I believe we left off right here. So let me put the present. There we go. All right. All right. So steps towards unification. In 1864, so you have this little picture down here. It's kind of hard. I know it's kind of hard to see, but you have Prussia makes an alliance with Austria. So they make an alliance. They'd agreed to attack Denmark. And up here, you see in the top part, here's Denmark up here, where you see my cursor going. So they basically agree that when they align, that they'll start war against Denmark. And if they win, that they will basically divvy up the two provinces here, Schleswig and Holstein, which you, oops, keep doing that, which is right there. Problem is that here's Prussia, and in order to get to Schleswig, here they have to go through Holstein. It's a problem. Plus, you have two powers that are kind of sharing the same area. Basically, they kind of, if you want to get to your area, you have to go through theirs, and they might be able to hold that over your head later on by not letting you if they want something. So ultimately, if you want to unify, you want to become a strong nation, you want access to these resources, having somebody kind of in your way, although you originally made a deal to fight with them at one point, might come back to bite you in the long run. So that leads to the next thing. It led to the 7 Weeks War, Austro-Prussian War. Now they decide to fight each other. And Bismarck is brilliant. If you look back to the map, he purposely stirred up border conflicts between Austria over Schleswig and Holstein, the two areas they decided to split, who were, you got to understand that those people were once similar in terms of ethnic backgrounds. Now they're being controlled by two different powers now, and Bismarck used that to his advantage, basically stirred up these conflicts. Now, again, brilliant. Bismarck negotiated behind closed doors in secret that he was going to make an alliance with Italy, as well as get a promises from France and Russia that they would not intervene in the war. So now you have Prussia gets an alliance with Italy, help each other out, going back to the Italy part on how they decided to help each other. So now basically you have Prussia and you have Italy against Austria. France won't get involved, Russia won't get involved, and boom, there you have war. So as you guys see, more of a, I guess a better example here, more of a map example. Here's your, you see your Schleswig, you see your Holstein, Hanover, German territory, and whatnot. All right, so now the next war will be the Franco-Prussian War. Prussia defeats Austria. Boom, that's one less foe, that's one less enemy that they'll worry about now in order to gain independence. Now you move your way over to France now. So again, you just had an agreement with France that they would not intervene. You weren't quite allies, they just promised not to intervene. So now you go to war with them. They're really the last major power that you have that borders your country. So here's the border. Here's Belgium. Here's Germany right here. So this is still Prussia, I guess, back in the day, German people. Here's France. So they border you. And there's still German people who live in this area that, you know, they want to unify under their umbrella. So by 1867, a few German states remained independent of Prussia. Bismarck felt he could win support of Southerners if they faced a threat from the outside. Basically, a war with France would rally the South. The Southerners in Prussia did not like the French, so he needed them to kind of gain favor with them. So by declaring war on France, that would gain their support. So he published an altered version of a diplomatic telegram he had received from France. Basically it's insinuating that France insulted, that they insulted them, and that by reacting to the insult, they're going to declare war. So France would declare war on Prussia. So because, you know, antagonizing, provoking, you provoke the French king, call him some names, force him, hey, he's the one who declared war, we didn't. So that's kind of was his excuse for war. So the Franco-Prussian War, the Prussian army poured into northern France, and in September, they surrounded the main French force in Sedan. They took 80,000 French prisoners. Even Napoleon III was also trapped, surrounded, and taken as a prisoner. By January 18th, 1871, shortly after, Wilhelm I is crowned Kaiser, Emperor, at the Palace of Versailles. You guys see here. This is when Germany was created. They beat France. Germany is now created. They're now a country. They now unified all the German states, called Germany now. And yeah, so very similar to what we did with Italy. Germany faced some problems. One being a form of government, being a federalist form of government. You have one national government, but states have powers as well. Political parties being formed. Well, if you know anything about political parties and where we're at today in today's culture, that can cause some issues, cause some problems amongst your people. Many Germans felt the Catholic Church was a threat. Bismarck passed laws to limit their power. Again, that's one of the issues with Catholic churches. They claim the Pope has a lot of power, and if you're somebody who's power hungry, if you're a leader, yeah, you don't want somebody else having power. So that's why you take that power away from the church. German industrialization. They invested in railroads, built businesses. Problem, as we talked about with Great Britain, working conditions were awful. Socialism began to creep up. Keep that in mind when we get into our World War I unit. They did experience huge economic growth. Industrialization leads to big business, more money. So Germany was well on their way to becoming a big economic power throughout Europe. And like I said the last time, they entered alliances with Austria-Hungary and Italy, became very, very close with Germany, very tied together. All right, so that concludes my lecture. 21 minutes total in length. See you later.